Howdy, y'all. This is a Contagious Smile Unstoppable. You're with Victoria, Cure, and Michael.
Redneck.
Also here is Stucco and Rusty, who are fast asleep. They're our golden retrievers, our service animals,
My
companions.
baby.
We have two brand new puppies. They're, 14 weeks old now,
15, but who's
15.
counting?
But they're white golden retrievers.
Candy cane.
And we got them from a
Family. He's now family.
family.
You can pick your nose, you can pick your ass, but you can't pick family. But I picked them. I know you do. It's really disgusting, by the way.
But yeah, thank you, Will, for these two babies that we got.
They're amazing.
Yep.
River and Blaze. River and
I was busy today. I finished up some laser engraving for
Muck Sticky.
Muck Sticky and
Amir.
Amir.
I was waiting for you to try and say his name on the blacklist.
Mushtabai.
It's Aram Mushbai.
That's his last name.
Mushbai. No, that's his character name. We had him on, and pretty soon we'll be releasing that episode. And oh my God, he was freaking phenomenal. I mean, Amir, like you have this mindset. He's going to be a 10 out of 10. And he comes out and he's like a 30 out of 10. Right? Because he's such a nice guy. And when I was trying to be very aware of his time, and he kept saying, no, we're not done recording. No, we're not done. I want to read your daughter's poems on air. And I'm like, wait, what? Right? And then he chomped my hide. He was like, what do you do just for you? Because all you do is work.
Oh, no, I got it too.
Not as bad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did. Because he was like, you need to be doing something for you. Like, what is your weakness? You know? And then he was like, what was your guilty pleasure? And you have to admit, my guilty pleasure, and I told him, I was like, my guilty pleasure is the blacklist, right? And he was like, no, come on. And I said, no, it's the blacklist. That's my like, moment. And so he was like, no, you need a hobby. You need something to do that is just for you, some downtime for you. And then my husband opened that trap under his nose, you know, that pie right there. And he was like, oh, I don't think I'm good at podcasting. Well, let's take your size 16 size foot and shove it right in your mouth, because that's what he did. And I was like, I don't think I could like you any more than I already did until now. Because he told him, he was like, number one, which sounds just like me. Number one, you have a great voice. Number two, I like that accent. It's something that we draw ourselves to. We love that Southern draw. Number three, you're very, what did he say?
Authentic.
Authentic. I wanted to make sure you're listening. Very authentic, very pure, and it's easy to listen to, y'all. He listens. He follows. Hello.
And this comes from a professional actor.
And then an Emmy award-winning actor and director. And then what did he say? Your wife is right. Listen to your wife. Mic drop.
Was that recorded?
Hell yeah. I've even taken that little snippet out and put it out. I've already put that out on the media channels, because when one of your like idols comes out and says, you're right, and you need to listen to your wife, hello, that's like all you need to say. I do have to tell you, my husband, we drink creepy coffees with an S from Eddie and the Beautiful Dawn. And they sent us coffee, and my husband put this white chocolate mocha in it, and
sugar-free.
It is sugar-free, and it is so good. It is better than the Double D and the Star.
Yes.
It is so much better. It's so good. It's just amazing.
And I did finish up some creepy coffee keychains today also.
We're going to be sending out care packages.
So doing all this laser engraving for keychains for the CreepyCon we got coming up.
That's the coffee. It's coffee. Say it right.
CreepyCon in Flagstaff, Arizona,
where they are flying us out to be a speaker, and and my husband's gonna work the booth, because if you heard about his latest estrogen levels, you know he's my bitch.
Yeah, so blood work showed I had high estrogen,
800 times higher than mine. I always knew who had the balls here.
And that I was diabetic. So
no. My friend, her mom is diabetic, and I asked about A1C, and she was like 7.1, and I was like, oh, I asked today, and she was like 7, like something, and I was like, oh yeah, no, my husband hit 9.2, and she's like, what? Go big or go home. Yep.
So lost a few pounds here, and now I get to make me a new ring.
You have other rings to make as well, not just one.
I do have some rings.
You do have some rings to make.
I better wait till closer to the time that you want to get remarried to make the rings, because both of us are losing weight. You've lost what, in excess of 35 pounds?
I am just shy of hitting 45 pounds.
Okay, and I've lost 4. Most of that was shit.
You hear how that sounds? Just let's play that back for a minute. You've lost 35. No, I've lost 40, just 44. And I've lost 4. But I was so proud of you today when we saw that you have a 4-pound loss this week. I was so proud of you. And you're like, yeah, that's nothing. Like, you were just so.
You just wanted to see me naked.
I see you naked whenever I want every day anyway.
Oh, that's true.
And you're like, that's nothing. It's a big deal. 4 pounds is a big deal. And you're just like, it's not good enough.
Yeah, no. I still got my man boobs.
Are they sensitive?
They're
Can I
not
find
sensitive.
out?
No, you can find out.
We've had some amazing guests on, and I've had the pleasure of conversating with here lately, and just some amazing, amazing people. And it's such an honor. And then we've been doing some realignment of different things because of just issues. Like, somebody that I have been doing support and therapy with made a comment to me the other day about, all I ever hear is, how could you do that to your mom and dad? How could you do that to your mom and dad? You've got no contact with your mom and dad. And you hear this, and I said to this individual, I said, you know what? What's really wrong in that whole statement is at the end of the day, you're still their child. You are still their child, right? Why doesn't anybody say, what did they do to deserve for you to go no contact? It's like, for instance, my husband and I are both the black sheep, right? And so in the dynamic, I can normally do the sheep. In the family dynamic, if you want to call, in the DNA pool, if you want to say that, on both sides, it's very shallow. But in their story, they make us out to be the bad person. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're the ones, because of their actions, who don't get to see their grandkids. And that's their choice. How do you justify not having anything to do with faith? I mean, right? You have people knocking down doors to try to get her to interview them, and everybody just wants to be around her. And when you're around her, she brings this like euphoric comfort, and people just feel better having her around.
Unless she hasn't put on deodorant.
Then she takes after you.
And then it's much more euphoric.
I love how she comes up and she's like, let me give you a hug. And she wraps her arms with her arms up high around you so that you can get a good old smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you're the one who farts out a tuba horn when y'all are around each other to see who has the best competition.
That's not me. That's Rusty.
Don't you blame Rusty.
I always blame Rusty.
No, Rusty was outside and you blamed Rusty.
Damn right.
No, I don't think so. But here's the thing. It's literally back on the subject. It's how do you justify taking these people out of the equation because you yourself can't be accountable for your own actions. You cannot hold yourself accountable for anything that you do wrong. But you shine that spotlight on you like there is no tomorrow when the tiniest thing goes right for you. And that's not okay. And that's why my husband and I both broke the cycle, because we were absolutely not going to have the generational cycle of trauma continue. I mean, it's just horrible. When you think about, like, okay, let's go back. We're showing our age a little bit. One over here to my left, who's going to be a year older here in a few weeks. Literally in the 80s, right? We sat at a table. There was no electronics at the table. It was family having a dinner, right? Some people prayed before dinner. Some people, whatever their tradition is, excuse me. But that's what we did. Now, every time you look or you talk to people, they're like, oh, well, they eat in their room and they eat down there, or nobody eats at the same time and everybody's on their phone. And like when we do go out to eat, we always look around and you see, everybody, either they're not speaking to each other at all, and it's like the quietest of table. And I think the only time they hear their own voices is when they order their food, or they're all on their phone. Even first dates. Michael and I laugh when we go and we see somebody is on a date, but they're both on their phones. What is the point? Why? And one of the greatest pictures I've seen in a long time is an old couple sitting on a bench loving each other. So upset because they don't know how much more time they have with one another and they want every second to count. So that's what they want. There's a person behind them whose phone is dying and they're irate. They are livid because what if they miss one, God forbid, social media post or video or whatever the case may be? But yet you're missing that time you're never going to get back with somebody. That's what means the most. That's what's most valuable. And nobody that's younger, like, that's in their teens, so forth, can see that for what it is. And it's horrible.
Mm. Yes, you're right. I'm sitting there just listening to you, thinking, sometimes, that we have a lot of, I even hate to say this, teens thinking about suicide.
Yes. No. We have kids killing themselves because they're being bullied at school, they're being bullied on social media, and they're being told, go home and kill yourself. And they do.
And really, it's a horrible thing for them to think that way, but it is so selfish for them. If they just talk to their parents,
But their parents, babe, have to be willing to listen.
right.
Don't just throw a freaking electronic and think that's a babysitter and call it a day, because it's not.
Ask them, what would it do to you if I wasn't around anymore?
A lot of them wouldn't even notice because their face is buried too far into the phone.
What would it do to you and I?
Oh my God.
It would destroy us. I mean, you and I would still be a couple, but if we didn't have our precious faith in our life.
Can't even think about it. Like, I honest to God, I can't. And the thing is I know I'm extreme on certain things. I get it. I admit to it. Because even at times, when I have my phone near me and I'm not working, which is like 4 hours a day, it's because I'm on call. I have people calling. I have patients texting. I have people that are asking for help. I'm waiting on a phone call from someone I'm advocating for, or I'm waiting on a doctor's office to call me. That is true. A lot of times, like my husband, who is the love of my life and my soulmate, he spends 30 doggone minutes a time on the toilet TikToking. So much is that he ripped another toilet seat. Another one. Like,
wait a minute now. Time out.
I'll call Faith in here.
Interject something.
Go ahead and interject a ripped toilet seat.
Okay. I have a medical condition.
Oh, shut the hell up. You do not have a medical condition. Diabetes does not mean ripping the toilet seat.
No, that's not it, babe. That's my other medical condition.
What medical condition puts your ex on a toilet seat?
It's called hemorrhoids. And with hemorrhoids,
you are a hemorrhoid.
You do not strain.
Okay, but I guarantee you.
J bar and shoot it out like a damn cannon.
Listen.
Okay?
Listen. That if you didn't have your phone in there and you weren't TikToking, your shit wouldn't take as long.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, I said it's
go in there and out in less than 10 minutes when your phone is not with you. No, that is less time when your phone is not there. Okay, then explain why Faith has had 6 toilet seats had to be replaced because of you.
I break them when I'm washing the dogs.
How do you break the toilet seat washing the dogs?
I have to bend over and it.
But you're on the floor.
I'm not on the floor. I'm sitting on the toilet seat.
You sit on the toilet seat to wash the dogs?
Hell yeah.
Oh, dear God.
I'm almost 50 years old.
You're almost 52.
I can't be on the floor.
Oh, my God. But see, okay, this is why you just, seriously. But I mean, this is the thing, is that we need people who are going to advocate for our kids. We need people, and not just kids until they turn 18, but like in general. And I was having a conversation.
Mid-20s.
Keep going. With like an individual who is a great person who does a lot in the Care Coalition, and he is an amazing person. And the thing is it's like, I was telling him, I said, what really is not right is that you wait months and months to get into a specialist. Okay. I mean, I understand if it's a surgeon, but if it's cosmetic, I can understand a several month wait. But if you're going to say, like, I tried to help someone get into pain management, not to get opioids, but to get like a spinal stem router, things that were not prescription strength, that were not medications, they were answers, like a TENS unit, things of that nature. And they were like, we don't have anything for like 8 months to a year. How the crap can you do that? How do you do that when someone's in pain? That's how people become addicted to pain medication. And then they go drug seeking and they go to one hospital, then another, to another, to another. And they're trying to help with their own pain, or doctors who get kickbacks from this. And here's the thing, a lot of addicts born into their addiction because they get injured and the doctor gives them a script. And the script is for Oxy or whatever the drug of choice is. And then they give them a refill and then they become addicted to it. And it's like, here's the thing. Most doctors spend only a couple of minutes preparing to walk in a room and see their patients, right? So let's say they see however many patients a day. It's like a windmill. So they see so many patients in a day. And how much is the most time? On average, it's 10 to 15 minutes at best they spend in a room with you. They spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 5 if you're lucky, getting ready and acclimated for your appointment. You've spent months waiting to get in, to be seen. And then they say, okay, I'll see you later. And that's the end of it. They treat you, on average, most doctors, not all, but most, they treat you like a patient number, a case number, a file number. I had a person that I was helping that needed a cochlear implant. And they were told all about it. You remember me telling you about this, that all about it. You qualify for a cochlear implant. This is exactly what you need. You're going to be able to hear again, blah, 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 blah. 100% deaf. This is what we're going to do. So excited. And then come back, oh, you're on Medicaid? That doesn't cover it. It's $300,000 if you want to pay for it. Well, Professor Plum in the, library with the candlestick, you don't have Medicaid if you have $300,000. So that's not going to work. So you put this high hope in someone's mind that if you just took an extra minute or two to really see and understand your patients, and I don't mean patience as in your lack thereof, but the person in the room waiting on you, then you wouldn't have just done that because this person had high hopes of hope of hearing. And then you just took that away. And that's not all right. It's absolutely not all right. And that's why you have to advocate so hard. And I am like the pit bull of advocates. I will come in there and advocate all day long and get my patients exactly what they need. And they sign over the right for me to be their power of attorney or give me right to request medical files and act on their behalf. And you best believe you're going to come out with more services than you know what to do with because I'm going to make sure that you get what you need and you're taken care of. But most people don't do that anymore. Just on a side note, what are you doing? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm over here looking at my hot ass wife
Oh my
who
God.
recently lost 44 pounds.
A minute ago, you said 35.
I'm eyeing you like a freshly baked Krispy Kreme donut.
Those are disgusting.
Mm.
You don't even like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm looking at.
But you don't like Krispy Kreme donuts.
But I love you.
But you don't like Krispy Kreme
I do like the donuts. I just can't eat them now because I'm diabetic.
You're diabetic.
Because I didn't take care of myself. I drink too much, ate too much. So I haven't had bread in a week.
That's right.
Any bread. No
know.
bread.
I know.
Okay. The only thing close to a freaking piece of bread I had was a spinach wrap.
That's not true.
What?
You had a tortilla for your big.
Oh, you're right. I did.
Huge burrito.
They would not give me
corn
a
tortilla.
bitty corn tortilla.
Yeah, but you ate that thing.
I did have one tortilla.
That was like a 24-inch burrito. That thing was massive.
Easy greasy.
Well, you wear a 16-size shoe. So, hey, you're married. You're off the market.
Oh, Lord.
Never again. You never had that little itch to
Drink a beer?
stray?
No. No different from drinking a beer. I just don't want it. Don't want another woman. Nope, don't want it.
If Eric Winter's wife showed up here,
Hey, how you doing?
bullshit. No way.
Mm-hmm. What am I going to do with another married man's wife?
What you've done before?
Now. Not back then, right now.
Not what you did back then. I promise you that.
Back then, yes, we would have been off in the woods somewhere.
You'd have been in the laundry room with them in the next room.
Probably.
No, not probably. It's done. You've done that.
Okay, don't. All right, Eric better not hear this podcast, and his wife. Yeah. So.
Why should he not hear this podcast?
No.
Why?
Because I don't want to get her on my bad side.
Oh, because she threw the flipper at him?
Yes.
What is the purpose in that anyway? Like, you've had a lot of the Latino whatever women. What is the flipper
I don't know.
thing? But it's women, right?
Yeah.
Why?
It's the first thing they can grab.
They as in Latinos.
Yes.
Latino women.
Yes. Bring on a Latina guest.
Not when you're around.
Really?
I have one that I would love to have. Huh?
Not promiscuous anymore.
I have one that I would love to have on here.
On the show?
Yep.
It would never happen.
You don't even know who I'm talking about. Even though we're always on the same page, who do you think I'm talking about?
Number 2?
I already had the conversation with her, and she couldn't handle the fact that I didn't raise my voice, I didn't cuss at her, and that
what you say would probably go over her head.
Everything went over her head. That's not who I'm talking about. It would shock you if I told you who I really would love to have on. Think. Who would I really love to have on here and have a conversation with?
Other than James Spader?
That's a Latino, I guess, female.
Oh, you didn't say that part.
Who do you, and you know her? Who have I said that I have no problem with you being friends with the spouse, but if that tarantula tramp tried to come around into my home, I would have a come to Jesus with her very quickly.
They're not Latino.
They're not. He's American.
Yes.
So
she's not.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about her.
Right.
What is she? She's Filipino?
No, that's not Filipino.
Well, I don't know. What is she?
Welcome to the 7-Eleven. Would you like to buy something?
Don't profile. What does that mean?
Indian.
She's Indian? Well, I'll take her to the reservation.
Wrong engine.
What do you mean wrong engine? If I said take her to the reservation?
Engines?
I said I'll take her to the reservation.
Wrong engine.
I don't understand.
Indian is a slang for Indian, American Indian. This is the country India, where she's from.
Oh.
I can't believe I just schooled my wife, who has 3 doctorates and 300 certificates.
Well, that's the thing, is that this tramp, who I can say is a tramp, I can say she's a tramp, because
our listeners, what the hell are they?
No, I'll define this. Imagine. Sorry, but I have to do this. See, people ask if I ever worry that my husband's going to stray. And most people have said, if I was you, I would always worry that he's going to cheat. And I don't, because I'm not filling that cup with negativity. I'm not filling my one cup with negativity. I am running it over with happiness, trauma free, love, memories, and laughter. I don't want any of the negativity. I don't. But this heifer, who the minute I met her 25 years ago, I didn't like her. No, it was 20 years ago. We had already been together 4 years before I met her for the first time. And I did not like her. And what I don't understand, and I would love to dissect this with you, is that number one, and her were best friends, which is mind-blowing to me. Your first wife was best, and she's still friends with her. Okay? So they're friends. And you guys would go over and hang out at your egg donors or wherever, and you were best friends with her husband. Why are you looking at me like this? You don't want me to go any further?
It's already out. Cat's out of the bag.
And the two of youths would find yourself somewhere doing the Humpty dance. And then come back into the room with your spouses. Like I can't explain. Like I can't explain. I can't wrap my head around it, honestly. And that's when they say, like, somebody's like, how do you think? Do you think you're a narcissist? No, because I don't act like one. I don't portray one, and I can't wrap my head around how they format and function the way that they do. It's kind of like my best friend who passed away. I would never have touched her husband. I mean, yes, he passed away, but obviously while he was alive, I never would have touched him. I just couldn't have imagined. And I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just mind blowing to me that you don't think number one ever knew?
No. Well, now that you've got that out, let's move on to a different subject.
But everybody in the DNA pool knew.
Yeah. But I'm not that way anymore. I love my wife and I'm faithful to my wife. And let's move on.
Okay. I'm sorry if that offended you.
You didn't offend me.
I just don't understand. Like, I try to learn and understand the realm of somebody else's reality. And like, I can't and could not ever figure that out. Like, how? Like, I have such a guilty conscience. I remember telling you that this guy hit on me who was a police officer back then. And I told you. And then you were working call. I was sitting out there with you. And he showed up and he was like, that's that bitch who was such a bitch to me when I asked her out. And you were like, I said, I told you I had a boyfriend. And here he is. And he actually said to you, this woman was the nastiest bitch to me. I'm like, I never hugged another man. I didn't shake, I would shake his hand, but there was no misconception. Like, I wouldn't be alone in a room with a man, nothing, because it's out of respect for myself and my relationship. So, like, trying to, like, understand, I just never could. I never could understand that. And that's because I've always had a very guilty conscience, like, I could never imagine cheating. I never have cheated on anyone. And I definitely know one I should have, but I didn't. I just can't grasp how people do it.
Now that I will not cheat on.
Again. That again.
But you weren't my wife.
Back then.
Yes.
No.
I don't condone cheating, y'all. I don't condone going outside your marriage. I did it on my first two marriages. I'm not proud of it, but with my wife now, I was with her back then, but because I had been married, it didn't work out. It couldn't work out because I
didn't know you were married.
But now, everything's straightened and on the narrow, and we're happily in love every day. We get remarried every year. We get new rings every year. And this year, I flattered by my wife asking me to make our rings. And we're going to make them out of
my grandmother, who was my life, her like real silver.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think that would mean the world to her.
So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
The problem is I'm not going to want to take it off the following year.
I know if we keep losing more weight, we'll add those damn little spacers.
Right. But I'm just saying, in the next year after that, I'm not going to want to remove it.
You could resize it for a different finger.
I don't have another finger to go to.
You've got
except
others and a thumb.
I think that would be one I'd always want to keep on.
Fine. Put it on a different finger. I wear 2 rings, 3 rings sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Do you know?
Hey, y'all, we got an Etsy store.
He's got gorgeous bracelets he's made.
Put some bracelets, some cuffs on the Etsy store under Contagious Smile Etsy, I guess. Yeah. Click on Etsy, go under Contagious Smile. Put some cuffs out there. Y'all check them out. Buy a few hundred.
Buy a few hundred.
And buy a cup of coffee. Go to our website.
It's not a coffee. You're buying a scholarship. You're providing light and hope to those in dark times.
We
Crickets.
for CreepyCon to come up, but let's see, what is
Crickets. July.
Is it July? Going down to Brunswick?
July.
That's what I said. July.
That's not what she said.
July. How else do you
It
say
sounds
July?
like you're saying July. Like July. July.
July.
July.
July.
Wow. You know what?
What?
The expression of my husband and his profiling does not, therefore, reflect on my personal opinions.
Our name is Solomon. I think we're part Jew.
You're like talking about Indians and Jews and like all sorts of stuff right now. Like, you know,
Say anything negative.
talking out of shitty. What is that? What is that? What is that? He used to do that to me when I would have surgery and I'd get it in my ear and talk about a shitty and I can't move. And it's like, seriously? Yeah.
Well, all right then.
Uh-huh.
If y'all have anything negative to say about me and if I come across
He's
racist,
redneck. He can't be racist. He's banged every color on the rainbow. Like literally.
y'all can email my wife.
Like hold on. I am the first and only white woman you've ever been with. So you can't be racist. And if you make a comment that everything's pink in the dark, I'm done. Like, don't.
Oh, shit.
Okay. It's not. Like, are you kidding? Really? That's.
All right. Do we have any other subjects we could discuss?
We always have subjects to discuss. It's the point is that you're like freaking me out with stuff. Seriously. There was a video, I don't know if you saw it, but a shooter came into a school and the principal was coming out of a side office and saw this guy with a gun and he pointed the gun at a student, the shooter, and the principal, who was an older man, tackled this guy onto the
on the bench.
Yes. Yeah. And he got shot in the leg. But how many lives did he save? How many lives did he save?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, good for him.
Right.
Seriously. Hands down, good for him. But then I've been watching and listening in the news because I always have to have something in the background. And the reason I mention that is because I'm happy that we saw an active principal who did something for the school. I believe that we should have officers in every school.
And canine.
Absolutely.
I am 1004% for canine.
There, I was listening to the news and somebody on the West Coast, I didn't hear exactly where it was, stabbed a parking attendant in the head. Right? The police came out. The guy's sitting there now. He has this big bat. And they're telling him, drop the bat, drop the bat. So they released the canine on him. And he's hitting the dog. And I'm like, that's not okay. Like, I can watch anything. But you touch a dog, and that's a whole different ballgame for me. Right? And the dog is trying, bless his heart, to get him. And he keeps getting hit with this bat. I mean, you're hitting a dog, dude. And the dog got around and got his arm and then just tore him up. And I was like, that's what you get, punk. I mean, seriously, that's horrible. But the reason that I mentioned that you brought up the canine is I saw a news story of 3 different principals, 3, that were brought in and incarcerated all for different lengths of time. And I believe 2 were elementary and 1 was a middle school principal, for having hundreds of nude child pornography on their computers. These are principals that are, this is like recent, 3 different ones. And they're, because the news that I heard was like, this isn't an uncommon thing, is we have found 2 additional principals within like this last window of whatever it was, that also, like, one of them had dozens of just one 12-year-old girl alone naked. And then one of the elementary school principals had elementary age kids and pictures of him showing the kids what to do on the computer. And the wife and the kid and the son, he had a son that lived there too, had no idea about any of this. I mean, that is just you go to school and you go in and you wonder, who really is
No, you trust
at the helm of the boat
like
for your
that.
kid,
Yeah.
right? I mean, who really is? We had a horrible experience when Faith was in public school where, she was in a special needs class and I took her to school every day. I had to train the staff and she had to have a parapro with her because of the incompetence of this public school. And it was one of the best. It rated one of the best. And one day
Yeah, band camp.
at band camp, Faith is like little prima donna. Everything has to match her boots and her dress and her hair and her accessories and her nails and da da da, right? And like she didn't say, "Mom, don't worry about what you look like. They're not looking at you. They're looking at me." Kind of attitude. And so I had dropped her off, and I had gone to go to the gym, and I had imagine this. I had just had foot surgery. Imagine that. So I was rehabbing, and I get a phone call that do you know about this? That she's blue on the floor. And I'm like, wait, what?
They're calling you.
They called me. And
They're
I'm
genius.
and I'm like, an ambulance better already be en route.
Yeah.
And I would say, and now that time has passed, and it's been a long time that I can say this, that when I got this call, I was already back en route to the school. Hand to God on my life, true, gospel true story. I got to the school before the ambulance. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I arrived at the school prior to the ambulance. And I run in. I'm at the nurse's station in the office. Faith sits up. And I was like, I don't want to hear from anybody but her. I don't want anybody to open their mouth, right? Everybody was trained by me. You know how patient I am, how diligent I am. I give worksheets, handouts, printouts, stuff to put on the wall, explicit directions, step by step, everything, right? I want to know what happened. She had a seizure. What? She had a seizure. What kind of seizure? Convulsional. She was on the floor, flopping like a fish. She stopped breathing. She turned blue. What? My kid? And so she hadn't had any more turning blue episodes, so this shouldn't have been an issue. So we were decannulated. We didn't have a trach, and I'm like, "Who did CPR?" We didn't have to. She perked back up. Okay. Who stopped the seizure? How did you stop the seizure? What did you do during the seizure? Right? We carried her down the stairs. Stop talking. Are you telling me that while she's seizing, you picked her up and carried her down 2 flights of stairs with a seizing child? First of all, that's impossible because any mother, doctor, parent, caregiver, human being with a YouTube capability knows if you've ever seen somebody having a convulsional seizure, you cannot. They have the strength of like a grown adult, right? You cannot hold them and contain them. You can't. It's physically impossible. Right? That's why you're supposed to turn them on their side. You're supposed to make sure that nothing is around that they don't hit their head on. There's so many protocols that are supposed to be done, right? And any epileptic mom, just like me, knew the protocols of what to do. So I'm like, well, then how did she stop? We administered Diastat rectally. I'm sorry, you did.
What?
And I was like, I'm sorry. And so Faith, bless her thumping gizzard.
This was from the nurse, I'm assuming.
She was, yeah, but then I find out she's not even a nurse. Like, she's not even an RN, an LPN, she's
Right.
just an ASS. Those are her initials at the end. So I'm like, wait a minute, you gave her Diastat rectally? Yes. So immediately I'm like, okay. So here comes the paramedics, the fire department, everybody else, and here's Faith checking them out, right? She's running a mile a minute. Diastat is supposed to knock you out, like, right? It's supposed to just calm you down, right? Put you to sleep or make you extremely tired. So the nurse tells the firefighters, I just gave her Diastat. And they're like, to who? Because not her. She's like, and this was Faith's exact words, I'm going to shove it up their ass, right? And I said nothing because you just sexually assaulted my kid, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, no, they didn't. You took down her pants and you put something in her rectum. You sexually assaulted my kid.
Yeah.
Now you're getting mom, right? And anyone who knows will tell you I'm not the one you want on that side. I'm the one you want on your side. Right? So I'm like, what? And I was like, show me the box. And I keep saying, keep your cool, keep your cool. There's witnesses, right? And so I'm like, I immediately go, you have da 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 with a history of da 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 da, and all this. And they're like, are you a doctor? Because I am presenting her like a patient. Here are her allergies. Here's what she has. Here are her diagnosis. Here are her medications. But. And they're like, I'm like, I want her checked. We're going to the hospital, even though she's right as rain. She's fine. And I was like, I want that box. Well, I need to throw it away. No, you don't, right? Give me the box. It wasn't even hers. She didn't have a Diastat prescription. She'd never been prescribed Diastat. So, two things. One, you just administered a rectal medication to a child who doesn't have a prescription for Diastat. And two, what if the child, God forbid, who needed it no longer has it? Right? Because you just took away their Diastat. You just grabbed and administered. So I take the box. We need that back. No, you don't. Because they knew now they're at fault. And I'm like, let's go. So I'm in the ambulance. So, like, your car needs to be moved. I give them the one finger salute. I am going with my child in the ambulance. They're like, well, we're going to have your car towed. Be that dumb. Go ahead and be that stupid, right? I'm going with my child in an ambulance. We go to the children's hospital who know us by name. You've been there. You see how they are. They all fight to get her, to take care of her because she's so amazing. And luckily, the doctor comes in who was the one individual, you know who I'm talking about, who refused to call it when she was in the NICU. Right. Everybody was like, she's great, just call it. He was a resident who would not give up. And he kept going and going, and he got her back. He walks in and goes, oh no. Oh no. And he goes, the county nurse is out in the waiting room and wants to come back. I said, this is what happened. Here's the box. And he went, let's make her wait a while. What time is she supposed to get off work? I said, probably 3. He's like, we'll keep her here for a while. I'm here all afternoon. Perfect with me. And I was like, I want her checked. I want this. I want that. I want the whole thing. I want to make sure she's okay. She is spit fire mad, as she should be. I mean, she's in first grade, right? Mm. And so she is beside herself, as she should be. So eventually he brings the nurse in. And the nurse comes in and he was like, let me tell you something. I've had the pleasure of knowing this mother since that angel was a preemie in the NICU. I have followed them. I'm friends with them. If she, and this is what he said, if she says it's raining purple piss outside, it's raining purple piss outside. No matter what she says, it's the gospel. Because this woman is what has saved this child's life dozens of times, not us. Her, because she gets her here to us, but she has saved her along the way. And she was like, and he was like, I don't even want to hear what you have to say. And that's what he told her. I don't want to hear what you have to say because nothing you have to say matters. Were you there? No. Did she change her name? Why would you ask that? Because the name on this box isn't hers. That's what he told her. And he goes, and it's going in my report. And I was like, I cannot get over. So he's like, I'm going to check her rectum. And I'm like, I feel like she's getting all over again. But luckily she knew him. She trusted him. She likes him. Yeah. And he was like, honey, I'm so sorry, but I'm just going to make sure you're good. Because supposedly they just rammed it in there very quickly. And immediately I'm already like, I want a care conference. I'm getting an IEP meeting. We're going to get district involved, and I'm telling the nurse, you better get me a meeting. I'm demanding one. You have 72 hours. Get it on the board. So he turns around and she's like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to go back. Like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to go back. And he was like, I'm going to write you to stay out for a couple of days. Faith bats her little eyes, which is all she has to do. And he was like, well, what do you think you need in order to recover? She's like, I need some time. She's in first grade, for crying out loud. And he's like, what do you think? Do you need like to the end of the week? And she was like, no. And he's like, that's my girl. You want to go back on Friday? No. Well, when do you think you should go back? Couple of weeks. He wrote her a medical excuse to stay out. Wow. For a couple of weeks. So I said, okay, we're going to handle this. I called an IEP meeting. I am one of the most thorough, prepared people. My husband will tell you that is not blowing smoke. I go in there with a folder for everyone at the table. And I'm like, wait, this is my ship. And unless I okayed someone to not be in attendance, they have to be here or I can reschedule the meeting. Well, she didn't get a sub. Well, y'all better go find something because I'm not starting till you do. She said she would be here. Let's go. So the teacher comes in finally, and we're sitting here and I'm going through everything. And I'm like, if you flip over to tab 2, page 3, paragraph 1, line 4, which my husband will tell you is my memory.
Yes.
I'm like, it clearly states that all personnel have to be trained by mom and checked off by mom, and that the following protocol is required. All the medication is therefore listed. Diastat's not on there. And it also says that I'm to be called, after an ambulance, which also did not transpire that way. So the teacher, if you will, is looking, and I'm like, where was the parapro? She was at lunch. Well, when she's at lunch, somebody else is supposed to fill in for her. She's never supposed to be by herself. So, extremely long story short, and this is why I'm telling it, is because it's all about the details that matter. Mm-hmm. The teacher decides to get angry, and I had faith in the room with us for this because I've always taught her you fight for what's right. You stand up for what's right. You stand up for yourself. And she loves watching what I do. She loves watching me at work. She loves it. And so she's in the back with this shit-eating grin on her face. Like, she hated this teacher. And she was like, just sitting there, like, you're gonna get it. Like, she was so excited. So I looked and I was like, please explain to me in what wheelhouse you were in to pick up a child convulsing. Because we did the testing and found out she didn't have a seizure. I had them at the hospital check. She didn't have a seizure. So what was it? Silence. I'll sit here all day. I'll keep you till after hours. I got nowhere to go. We'll go stay right here. She was so irritated. She finally was like, that's it. I just can't do this. And I'm like, I never raise my voice, just like always. I'm calm, cool, and collective, which pisses people off. Mm-hmm. They get so irritated. They're like, just yell at me already and let's go. Nope, because I know how to push your buttons. So finally, she just throws her pen, and she was like, fine. She had to pee. I literally almost fell out of the chair. I'm sorry, what fell out of your face? And that's exactly what I said. She had to pee. Her foot, was like tapping the ground, standing there saying, I have to pee. And she goes, and I didn't have time to take her. So I hit the emergency button and said she had a seizure.
You effing shit me.
No. My husband doesn't know this story, apparently. And I looked over, and my daughter goes, well, I get in trouble. Now, she had apraxia back then. So a lot of her words didn't come out like ours do. And she's like, am I going to get in trouble for saying this? And I said, no. And she goes, I'm going to stick it in your ass. Like, and I let her say it. And I said, does your stomach hurt? And she's like, no. And I was like, I know a great doctor. And she just looks at me. And I was like, on what planet did you see a child? You work in elementary school. You work in special needs. And you're telling me that a child tapping their foot at you, which any kid would do, not even just someone who has special needs, any kid, what does kindergarten and first graders do when they have to pee? They hold their crotch and they bounce up and down. I gotta go potty, I gotta go potty, I gotta potty, right? Basically what she did. And so she was like, can we break for a minute? I need to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I have a really big tampon if you need it.
Wait. So let me piece some things together here because I'm a little confused. The teacher,
yes,
finally admitted,
yes, that they
had
to go to the bathroom. Yes. She was like this.
Prior to this, she said she had a seizure,
which when we went to the hospital was verified did not happen.
Wait a minute. Right. But after she had the seizure, apparently they took her down flights of steps.
No, they told me they brought her down the stairs while she was seizing.
Okay.
They would have dropped her. Station, yes, they would have dropped her if she was convulsing.
Administered
Diastat.
Rectally.
Yes.
So that's two people involved on this lie.
Yes.
So the truth come out.
Yes.
That it was a potty break.
And that the teacher didn't want to take her.
So did she pick up Faith and carry down the steps or not?
No, the parapro did.
Okay.
The teacher never moved.
So why did they say she was blue?
They said that she was blue, but then she was like, I wasn't blue. I was like this. Mm.
And then I just can't see Faith letting someone,
She was tiny itty bitty.
you
She
know,
was so unbelievably shy. And if they held her down and said she was convulsing,
that's true, but okay. Oh my God. I hope they all got fired and sued and in jail.
the teacher got Teacher of the Year. I shit you
Are
not.
you kidding me?
I swear to you, she was given Teacher of the Year. I'm not kidding. She was special needs teacher, and she said it was an accident. It was her fault.
An accident.
She tried to take responsibility. I went after to get her fired. I absolutely went after to get her fired. People are like, you need to get a lawsuit, and I was like, I don't want to embarrass her anymore. I mean, I threatened to get news cameras in there.
Oh, I would have. Oh,
But
God. Oh.
but the problem I had with that, in all fairness, is that I just within the last, it wasn't even a year and a half, 2 years before that, just got the rights terminated, babe, because it took me years in court to get the rights terminated, to get the guardian ad litem, to go through the case, to go through everything we were going through. And I didn't want to put her through that because she would have had to go on camera. I did not want anything out there at that point showing who she was so he could see who she was. He hadn't seen her since she was in the NICU. So the last thing I'm going to do is give him evidence of who she is. You know, that's my daughter. I'm not about to show.
But it is what we kind of advocate.
This is exactly what we advocate for.
See something, say something.
And that's why I said something. I went to the district and they were like, well, there are accidents and blah, blah, blah. You can press criminal charges if that's what you choose to do and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. We press criminal charges. She has to, you know, even though she's a minor, her medical records become public at that point. It goes into court record where she goes to school. All of this becomes a domino effect. It's not to protect our child. I had every intention. I was like, you know what? I'm going to press charges. But then we go to court. We testify in court, testify where the teacher is, where she goes to school. That's all public record. And I was in the fight of a lifetime, just got the rights terminated. And I didn't want him to know where she was. And if it had gone to public record, he would have found out where she was attending school. I mean, this was all right after the termination of rights in that same little period. And he already tried to kill her multiple times. So the last thing I'm going to do is tell him where she is, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So that was the problem. So she got away with it. And then the next year, she gets Teacher of the Year. And that's why, you know, I ended up calling another IEP meeting just to be a bitch and put everybody again on accountable.
Within those 2 weeks or after?
After. And I literally, it was right after. It was like the day after she was supposed to come back. And I called for another IEP meeting and I sat down and I was like, I want to know resolution of what y'all are going to do in order to secure this and not have this happen again. Well, we need to put on a game plan. You can retrain everybody. And I was like, I retrained everybody. That's fine. But y'all don't even have the paperwork right because it says right here she's not on Diastat. So we go, and I think some of our listeners are either going to one of two things. They're going to think it's hilarious or they're going to think I was just a bitch. But if you're a mom and you've been through what I've been through and trying to keep her safe and out of the limelight because there's a man out there who's tried to kill her multiple times, I don't want any public record of where she was back then. So we go through this and I'm listening. And I hold all four aces in my pocket without telling them. And I listen to them, and this is hours long, and I'm letting them go through the whole thing. Like, I want to see work product. How's she getting an A when she leaves school early every day? I want to see work product. Well, we can't release it because we have to keep it because she's on an IEP. Oh, I'm not asking to keep it. I just want to see it. Well, we weren't prepared for that. I can wait. I'll wait. Right? I'll wait. Like, I'm just sitting here, and I am just making them show me any and everything, right? And at the end of it, I was like, you know what? Y'all are ridiculous. I don't see how you guys do what you do because the state gets funding for every special needs student, right? So the school gets more money for those kids. Like, you are allowed to say, I want the attendance record of her having all of her required therapies, speech therapy, occupational therapy, whatever. And they couldn't produce it. They get paid for her to get those services. And they couldn't produce it. But they said, oh, yeah, she attends. Well, show me. Show me work product. Show me attendance records. These are things that you require to keep record of, and you don't have it. So I went through and held them accountable for everything. And I was like, you know what? We've been here like 3 hours. I royally pissed everybody.
3 hours?
Yeah.
I've never been at IP more than 45 minutes.
Oh, no. I was making them be accountable for everything that they were doing. Right? And I was just sitting there letting them eat crow.
I hate to be on the other side in a courtroom.
Why?
Against my wife.
Why?
you're a tough cookie. You are, you know. I said that woman in that Yellowstone movie, Beth.
Beth.
Yeah, she was a tough hombre. You're just as badass, if not worse.
So after the end
More.
of this 3+ hour meeting, I looked over and I was like, you know what? They're like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to resolve this? And I was like, oh, by the way, I've been recording this entire thing. No, you can't record this meeting without our permission. Yes, I can. The state of Georgia says only one of us has to agree to it. And since I hit record, I agreed to it. So yeah, I can. Well, we didn't agree to it. We want the tape removed. No, it's my personal property. You're not getting it. So after all this is said and done, and I'm seeing this teacher just eating nails, she hates me. And that's fine because I can't stand her either. So she turns around and looks, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this really simple. And y'all are all just done, and you've tried to, you know, save face and do whatever you can do to say that you've done everything you're supposed to do, and nothing is what y'all done. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. And I take out a note, and I was like, pick A, B, or C. And they're like, what? I was like, A, B, or C. Which one? I don't understand. And I was like, oh, well, earlier y'all have all said that in all of your careers, you've never had a doctor give carte blanche to the parent, ever. All of her treating physicians have said whatever mom says goes. If she changes the dosage of the medication, you go with whatever mom says. If she says this is what you feed her, this is what you give her. You do not give her school food. You do not do this. Whatever she says, we will back up and agree with 1,000,000%. And they all signed it. They all signed this on the IEP forms. Every one of her treating physicians, right? So I was like, great. So here's A, B, or C. And I was like, and what that means in A, B, or C is that all of her doctors, including myself, not that I need them, are withdrawing her from school.
Hmm.
And they were like, what? So one of them, the one I hate, was like, you knew that coming in? Yeah. You knew when we sat down here over 3 hours ago that you were going to withdraw her? She is laughing. Faith is laughing to the point I think she's going to pee on herself. And I was like, and I looked over at I looked over at the teacher. This is like the perfect ending for our podcast. I looked over her and she's spitting nails, right? And I'm like, are you jumping? Are you having a seizure? And I was like, I could find some Diastat. And she looks at me and I was like, why are you so jumpy? And I was like, are you having a seizure? And she just gives me this look. And she goes, you knew this entire time you were going to medically withdraw her from school? Yeah. For 3 hours. Looks like 3 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, I'm medically trained. If you have a seizure, I can give you some Diastat. She was infuriated. And I was like, so we're going to go upstairs and clean out her stuff. And she never went back to public school again. Never. It was the best decision.
Better for it.
Yeah. Best decision ever. Because homeschool is 1,000,000 times better. And she looked at me and goes, Mom, it'll be worth it if I do this and I get grounded. She's never been grounded because of the way we parent and talk to her. And she looks over and she's like, Mom, if I get in trouble, then I deserve it. And I was like, okay. And she looks back at all of them and she goes, yours, and gave everybody fingers upright. She gave everybody the one finger salute. And I contemplated, I was like, look, do I agree with what you did? No. Was it adequate? Yes. You are a lady. And that's not, and I said it in front of everybody in the school, the IEP meeting. I was like, it's not really ladylike for you to give the finger. It's really not. And, I raised you better than that. And she's like, I know, Mom, but I'm really mad. And I was like, you have every right to be mad, but you also have me. So I was like, walk out the door. So I turn around and she's walking out the door with her back to them. And I turn around and go, F you to every single one of them with both my fingers, giving them the salute. And she was like, Mom, what'd you do? And I was like, nothing, baby, let's go. I mean, and for principle, I made her go to bed early that one night, because I was like, it's not appropriate. You're a young lady. You don't need to be raising your finger to them and giving them the bird, blah, blah, blah. I raised you better than that. That's not how you speak to adults. I wasn't going to tell her that I told him to go F off and I give them the fingers as I walked out the door and she didn't see it. But, the point is that more people need to be stronger advocates for their kids. And I rambled on for a long time and I'm sorry.
And as you know, this is Potato Smile Unstoppable. We
Obviously.
talk about anything and everything, and it is very non-scripted here. We go off the cuff, and these are just some of the stories. You know,
You're not alone.
we may change to cop stories sometimes. You know,
Oh, Lord.
you
In
just
your
have to
honey
stick-
hole. Wait,
stick
that doesn't even sound right anymore.
No, it doesn't. So thank y'all for listening to Unstoppable here at the Contagious Studio. We'll call it a studio with Victoria Cure, famous author,
God, here he goes again.
a million zillion books.
No,
I think she's up to like 58.
whatever. They're not all out yet, though.
Y'all go on our website, buy a cup of coffee, go hop over to the Academy under contagiousmile.mn.co. Join the Academy. It's free and get y'all some good classes going on. And if y'all like to be a sponsor, get with us to be a sponsor. We'd love to have you. Thank y'all for listening.
Toodles.
Good night, y'all.